And welcome back to the real Running with James.
It's a retakeover.
I don't know if it's a real retakeover as much as like things are back to the way they should be. We talked to Rocky about we were going to be gone. We wanted him to come, but obviously he couldn't make it. And so he took it upon himself, I guess, to he called it the Rock Dog Takeover, right?
We gave him an inch, and he took
he just started doing whatever he wanted to.
A full marathon worth of time.
Wouldn't even tell me who the people were going to be on. He didn't get authorization for any of that jazz.
He just did.
He's just doing whatever the heck he wants to do, and then just telling me how it's going to be done.
Took full advantage.
And this dude just went straight up rogue.
It just sent us nothing but messages, knowing we couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah, and then lied because I was like, "Well, Donnie, I'm not worried about it because you can't upload the stuff because." I have to approve it. He's like, he's like, you're right, I don't have the logins. And then, he uploaded them because apparently he does have the logins.
You have the logins.
But here's my problem. Here's my problem. No, he lied straight up about it. For months, I've been saying, why don't you just upload them? You're like, well, I don't have the login to upload the podcast, right?
Yep.
So for months, he's been lying to me about it. And now all of a sudden, by some miracle, he's got login capability.
Can I say, Rocky, you don't deserve to wear that hat on your head. Says be a good person.
Oh,
good
my
people
goodness.
Don't lie. But it's okay.
All liars will find their place in the lake of fire.
But it's okay because I got you a new hat.
What'd you get me?
I got you a hat all the way from across the ocean. You want it?
What does it say?
Well, I don't know.
Be a great person. Oh, Italia. And it matches what I'm wearing. So
yeah, look at that. Now.
That's your gift
for being a liar.
For being a liar. So I guess you do get rewarded for bad behavior.
There you go.
This is like an Italian hat for sure.
Yeah. I saw it and it spoke to me. It said Rocky all over it. Nice.
Oh, look, guys.
You look Italian.
I do. I feel Italian.
Do a little bit of this and you're right on brand.
Right here.
I feel Italian.
So anyway, thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for not abandoning us.
The coup is over.
In the time. The coup is, it wasn't really a coup as much as it was a fill-in.
Yeah.
I thought he did a good job.
I haven't gotten to hear him yet. I'm sorry.
No? You guys, did y'all listen to any of them?
I listened to both podcasts, and they were both great.
Oh, great.
Good job.
I mean, I listened to them both. I don't know if great is the word I would say.
Good guests.
Yeah? Guests were good.
Illustrious.
Yep. Illustrious. I would say, would you like a note?
Yes, I would take a note.
I would say, don't be so apologetic and because they're the one with you and Brandy. You're like, sorry, not sorry, right? We're talking about Jesus. I was like, there's no reason to apologize. This is our podcast. We can talk about whatever we want, right? If they don't want to listen to it, they can turn it off.
I was going to say that, but I was like, let me not channel my inner James. Say, this is my podcast for the day.
Well, you don't have to say that. I'm just saying you don't have to apologize. That's all I'm saying. But other than that, I thought you did great. I thought the guests were wonderful. Brandy did a good job.
She did.
Mike, you and Mike were a little long-winded.
We did. That was supposed to be a Patreon episode. Then I was like, this is kind of cool. Let's just put this on for the regular people because I wanted them to hear that Viagra
I just think
story.
It's funny because if I had done an episode that was an hour and 50 minutes long, you'd be like, oh, we got to break this up. We got to cut this into 2 weeks. Da, 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 da.
I'm sorry, wait, it's how long?
And I'm pretty sure Mike would have even been like, oh, that was too long.
58 minutes, something like that.
It was 1 hour and 51 minutes.
One episode is almost 2 hours.
Yeah, I was like, dude, why didn't you just break this into 2?
I did. Well, yeah. Well, I just...
And it was obvious that you cut out stuff.
Oh, definitely.
I could tell you cut stuff out.
Oh, my goodness. I cut out 35 minutes.
Really? Mm-hmm. There were a couple parts I was like, okay, they edited something there. I could tell.
I don't think I realized how long it was because I listened to it on the plane on the way back. I just downloaded the episode.
That was perfect.
That's
smart.
That's smart.
Will there be a director's cut with the full episode?
Can I get the director's cut?
Yeah. Well, I wonder what the 30 minutes you cut out were because there were some things in there I was like, why didn't he cut that out?
Oh, there was some stuff I had to keep in.
I was like, I can't believe this fool left that in. I was like, I remember specifically, I was listening to I was like, oh, that was really good. Oh, I like that. And then right after that, I was like, oh, my God. Why did they leave that in?
Like inappropriate?
No, there's some inappropriate stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, it's Mike, so that doesn't.
For sure. Yeah, for sure.
But we weren't even trying. It just happened naturally.
Yeah, but you enjoyed it too much. That's the problem.
It was funny.
So I don't know if Mike's going to listen to this. I'm sure he will. But I'm going to tell you right now, my opinion of that particular episode, it just seemed like you were trying to get in really good with him.
You're bringing that inner Italian out right now.
Oh, look at my hand.
Yeah.
I'm not even doing it on purpose. It's just happening. What the heck? Oh, my gosh. Hey, we talked about this. First of all, we'd like to show and welcome our two guests.
Welcome our two guests.
I know.
Illustrious guests.
We have more illustrious guests. These are Hyrox World Championship competitors.
Mm-hmm.
Jamie.
From the BC team.
Singles lady. Woo. Carlos. Or, as we like to call him, Don Carlito.
That's the new name.
That's
That's
his new
it.
name.
Wait, when did we get Don Carlito?
I ate about gelato like
He
4
ate
times
gelato
a day, so that's
3 times a day
No,
at
and then
least.
that one dessert he had he had the gelato, he had the tiramisu, and then you get something else, and Laura had to finish it for you.
That was at the same meal. Yeah.
maybe it
Yeah,
could have
no,
happened.
Laura finished my thing, I think.
There was a
You
lot
know,
of
you finished my
dessert
coffee.
eating.
I finished your coffee in one shot.
Yeah, but no, he bought while we were in Florence because it was Men's Fashion Week in Florence,
Ooh.
right?
Ooh.
And we had to up our game because we did not come prepared.
Yes.
And this dude bought like these sunglasses, and
I
they
have
were
'em
very.
here. I can put them
Yeah,
on.
you
All
should.
right, here we go.
They're
See
very
them. I
Italian.
want to see them.
They're super Italian,
Oh, I can't wait.
and
I heard there was definitely some shopping done in Florence when y'all went.
yeah, for sure.
That's what I did in
It
Paris.
was a good place
Watch
to
out.
shop.
The official debut of
Yeah.
Don Carlito.
Don Carlito.
Right there.
See what I'm saying?
Oh, there we go.
Hey.
Look at that.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
That was
it.
word.
Nope.
You look good, man.
So,
Thank
but
you.
Yeah, those look good on you.
Thank
but
you.
I thought it'd be a good opportunity, better now than ever, for us to kind of bring them in so they could share their experience and we could talk about it a little bit. So thank you guys for coming on.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for
Bonjour.
a wonderful time in Europe.
It was a great family trip.
It was.
It was a really good family
It
trip.
was.
You could have come.
No.
No, I couldn't.
I was gonna come. This is whatever. So, but we had a great time. So, thank you guys for being faithful in our absence. And I was looking at those numbers while we were gone, and because actually we had probably one of the best weeks we've had while we were gone, as far as like downloads. Right?
Really now?
Yeah.
Nice.
But then when I looked at it, it wasn't your episodes. So I was like, oh my gosh.
Was it the
I
positive
was-
thinking episode?
Yeah.
I was thinking, I finally got to listen to that one on the plane, and I was like, ooh, we did good on this episode.
Yeah. So, but that was one of them. But I mean, yours, the one you did had listens for sure.
It definitely
It had listens, but I was a little nervous because I was like, oh well, I guess we know what the recipe is. Just not have me on the podcast, and it's gonna blow up. So, but that actually wasn't the case. So, but anyway, we're back. We're back, baby.
We are back. Well, y'all are back.
Yeah. Well, you're back too.
Yeah, I'm back to the corner.
Yeah. I remember you put yourself in
the
there.
corner.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Nobody puts a Rocky in a corner,
No.
but Rocky.
but Rocky.
that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. So how was it? So we had how was the flight?
Baby
I guess,
crying.
You know what? Yeah.
Baby crying.
The
Both
flight up
flights.
there was like, I remember walking. So I've never flown Air France. Was it your first time for Air France?
A long time ago.
Long
I've
time
flown
ago.
it.
Walk in, and I turned a corner and almost took out the entire like section where the flight attendants are, where they serve the foods and stuff, because of my bags and the air narrowness of the pathway, and just knocking stuff over. And she's like, "Sacre bleu!" Because she was French, obviously, because it was Air France. And then I look down this aisle, and it is the thinnest aisle I've ever seen in my life. Yes.
Oh, absolutely. My hips barely went through.
Yeah.
And I don't have big hips.
Yeah,
either,
no.
so-
That
That's
was
what I was
free
thinking.
Italy hips.
Yeah,
yes,
it was
free
The
gelato.
Italy.
I mean, you think Frontier, Spirit Airline, you think, okay, they jam those people in there. Nothing like Air France. Air
Yeah.
France is like, we're getting an extra 5 to 6 people per row.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, exactly. So the flight up there was tough. It was rough as far as like, it was not comfortable.
One thing you mentioned on the food is you made a good point. You said they give you enough just to live.
Yeah,
So
they
you
keep
don't
enough
die.
to survive, keep you
Yes.
alive, not to actually sustain your actual energy levels for sure. And then the seats, I distinctly remember we're sitting there, the lights were going low, and the old dude in front of me, he looked back at me and he's like, I guess he didn't speak English, and I was
you
like,
put
oh
the
yeah,
seat
no
down?
problem. And the seat comes into my lap, like literally, it was on my knees. I was like, I hope this is not the whole flight, and it was. And then there was a baby right across the way from us, right in front of you, right?
Yeah.
So it was a good time.
Well, at
Great
least
flight.
you made it there on the day you were
I
supposed
would say,
to.
Oh, yeah,
Katie
that's-
had
That's
the
true.
worst flight getting there.
Yeah.
by far. You
So
won that.
I
category.
spent an additional 24 hours in Atlanta.
No.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because of Houston weather, right? Or what was the reason? I don't even
I
know.
don't even know the
Yeah.
reason. I was delayed in Houston.
Yeah.
because you were
Um,
supposed to be on the same connecting flight as Laura.
Yeah, and she's texting me as I'm like
I know.
sprinting through the Atlanta airport
She was
to
so
get there.
excited to like get on the plane with you when she was like, I don't know where she's at.
No, I was almost I was on the verge of tears. Like we get there, or I get there. My dad and my husband were lagging behind. I sprinted to the gate. And,
She's about to leave them in Atlanta.
they're like, just go, hold the gate open. The airplane was still there, but the gate was closed. And
They
gate,
couldn't let
the
you in.
gate agent was like,
So I heard that
Sorry.
they can't reopen the door. Like there's some like a safety thing about it. That's what I've heard. But I don't know how true that is.
So I've been on flights where they've reopened.
I've been on flights where they've reopened
and
the
the
doors.
thing is,
Before.
they have to start over with the whole safety spiel.
Yeah.
From the very beginning. So there's like.
But I
apparently
have
an
been
order
on
of
flights
things.
where they've opened the door before. Yeah.
I was
And they were like, "Oh, we're gonna let someone on." Yeah. Some bull.
I've never seen it.
yeah. So
It's crazy what they can do when they want to, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. So yeah, we were worried about you.
So sorry.
So I wanted to get there an extra day early, so I was rested. I wasn't, but that's all right. I got it.
You
I
still
got
did
there.
awesome.
You got
Still
there.
did Fabulous.
Yeah, I got
So y'all made it there,
Yeah.
We did.
and then y'all first day is the walkthrough, or what is that? Not
First
the
day's
walkthrough.
the Walk of
The
Nations.
what is that? Yeah, Walk of Nations, like the Olympics.
So it's basically where they introduce every country's athletes. So this was my first time competing in the championship. So I've gotten to see it for all of y'all before. And then when we went, this was a little chaotic. The way they had this Walk of Nations set up.
Yeah, they just did it differently. That's
they
all.
did it very differently, and it was very
And it was they were like
chaotic.
way behind on everything.
Yeah, and we were
like,
waiting
big
in a
time.
lot of crazy lines, basically in a holding cell
Yeah.
outside, like a
Really?
bunch of
A holding
cattle.
pen. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
we missed the whole thing because we were United States of America,
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
waiting
They-
outside.
Oh.
So
we
by
didn't
the
even watch it.
yeah, we walked in and it was pretty much done.
Yeah.
and so
So
Yeah.
they did play a good song for us. I did like the song.
I don't even
Bon
remember the
Jovi.
song.
It's
America.
Bon Jovi,
Oh.
It's My Life. No, it was It's
Yeah.
My Life by Bon Jovi, which I love that
yeah,
song.
it was
so.
it was fun.
Is that America? I mean, I
Bon
guess,
Bon
but
Jovi's
that,
Jovi.
American.
I don't think America when I hear that song.
More New Jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, it was cool. I mean, it's still no matter what, it's still awesome to walk in with the
Yeah.
rest of your
Mhm.
countrymen, and you got the flag, and they knew.
Yeah,
They, knew
knew.
who we were, right?
Yeah.
So, so that was neat.
It's a cool venue. The venue was really neat.
It was an awesome venue.
Yeah, the venue was
It was really
great.
nice.
It
So,
was huge.
and I want to say this is the first time we've gone where we left. Like I didn't stay to watch the Elite 15. I didn't watch any of that. We just left.
Me
I was
and
so
Laura
tired.
stayed.
And in fact, I was getting text messages from my wife while we're in our holding pen telling me, I'm done. That's all it was. That's the text message. It was like, I'm so tired. I'm done. I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, okay. I mean,
How long did it take?
It was a long time.
We were there for a long. We got there like at what 4 o'clock or something.
We all met at like
They put us
4.
in the pen for at least an hour.
Yeah.
we were there.
So we were in
outside.
there.
Goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like crammed in this like outdoor. I guess it's a park.
You guys
Yeah.
went and got snacks.
Laura and I left to go get water and some snacks, and we had to get back in the line. We kind of jumped the line a little bit, but they had basically line there rechecking everybody's bags. I think based on like every location's standards for security, this one looked like it seemed like it had a lot more high standards for like very
Well,
thorough and checking.
it had high
everybody.
standards in the beginning.
Yeah.
But as the time went on,
Yeah.
they got much more lax. They're like, just go.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's like they were like, this is how we're gonna do it, and they were like, okay, this is not working.
Yeah.
Forget it.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was Laura and I got there like a day before everybody else, so we were a little more rested than everybody by the time we got to Walking Nations.
I mean, I was fine. I was good.
Yeah.
So,
We were just hungry.
and then I got that night's sleep because I knew also the next day we were just gonna chill, right? So I was fine. I was good. I was just my wife. I was just worried about her because
She slept for like a whole day.
she did.
She literally slept
Oh,
the whole
really?
day.
She
did. Yeah. So Saturday we went to go cheer Jamie on, and so she stayed at the room, and like I think around 3 o'clock, I was like, I called her and she didn't answer the phone, and then I texted her, and then she finally called me back, and I was like, "Are you still asleep?" It was like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. She'd just been sleeping all day, and she'd slept all night.
She was very rested.
So she wasn't like, and she, you know what? Since we've been back, she did the same thing.
Oh, she slept.
Yeah, this chick, I don't know. She got to catch up on her beauty rest or something, or else she'll start slicing people. I don't know. So she's not playing around anymore. She's like,
2
I
weeks
will
of
rest.
vacation, I'd be tired.
Yeah, it was a long trip. It was funny because he and I were talking about it when we got to Paris. I was like, dude, do you realize like 5 days ago we were racing, and it felt like what, like
a year,
a month.
Yeah, it did. I was like, yeah, it wasn't even a week.
It wasn't even a week, and we were like, holy crap, dude, that feels like it was so long ago, just because of how much we were moving around and stuff. So, but yeah, it was a really cool experience, especially the when we got to the race, and like it was the way they had it laid out. I thought was really good too. I think it was probably my favorite way of the layout.
yeah, it was all in order.
I
From one day.
Yeah, I love that part. That like when you started on one end, you were closer to the exit. Then by the time you got to the finish, you were coming in closer to the last station.
Yeah, and it was all in a row,
It was-
so
you wouldn't have to run around finding it. You weren't looking everywhere.
Yeah.
There wasn't like running into people. It was such a. They should.
it was
try
very
to do,
smooth.
They should try to do
Yeah.
every
The
arena.
in and
like
out
Really?
Yeah.
was easy.
Yeah.
Really?
Whole-
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
it
very
was
efficient.
so
It was
nice.
perfect. Like you came around the corner and they had the entrance like right at the corner, so like you could either go straight or go right in. So there wasn't like that whole crisscross stuff.
Yeah.
And then the exit was on the other side.
It was literally just a lane.
Oh, one way.
Right. So it was just a straight lane straight through. So it was like perfect.
Yeah.
So
In the, I think the water station, even though I never used it, was like in the perfect spot.
yeah, there were like three of
Couple
them,
of
Yeah,
right?
they were like straight in the center, and then like two more to the
Yeah.
outer
So it was
side,
like
so
it was one of the best setups I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Now it was a huge venue.
big venue.
And it was very long. So
Yeah.
not all venues are like that. Some of them are square, right?
Mhm.
Oval, like
Yeah.
so they're kind of. I understand they have to work within with whatever they got to work with, but like if they could do them like that, that was the way to go.
So nice.
Yeah,
So nice.
That's legit.
yeah. So and it was 3 days, right? So the elites, then the singles, then the doubles.
Mm-hmm.
So that was really good too because then it wasn't like just so many people. I mean, it was still packed, especially on Sunday. I feel like.
Sunday got really busy. I felt like Saturday, I felt like it picked up a little more towards the later part of the day.
I mean, I was only there for her, so I
Yeah.
don't know.
Oh, that's true.
So,
don't know. We
but
can't-
I do feel like it was by doing it that way. I felt like it was much more manageable. It
Yeah.
wasn't like overwhelming.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
I mean, now let's get to the meat and bones. How was it? That's, I guess, Lauren, first time doing it, competing in the World
First time
Championship.
competing. It was hard. It was really hard. It was good. I think Laura and I were happy that we hit our run paces. The weight definitely is heavy. It is very heavy. I immediately was like, I highly applaud Jamie that she's doing this by herself because this is really heavy to push and the pull, and it's a lot. It's a lot to do solo. So Jamie, hats off to you.
Thank you.
You are amazing. But yeah, my partner and I had a great time. We had a loose goal, kind of, because obviously, like, we wanted to go out and do our best. But since we had never done a race pushing that kind of weight, and we've been training separately,
Mhm.
you know, there's always like a lot of things to kind of consider. So I actually went into the race feeling really confident about the weight, and then I got to that sled, and that sled did not budge as fast as I wanted to, and I was like, oh no, what is happening here? So luckily, my partner, being the absolute beast of a creature that she is, she took over the sled, and just like that thing started gliding. I was like, okay, well,
It's doable.
it's apparently doable. It's just not doable for me right now. I put a lot of energy into making sure I was trying to hit our paces in the run. I was really pushing it, but we did good. We had a fun time. Good time.
That's awesome.
Can't wait for next season.
Mm.
Mm.
And now the, well, I guess Jamie, another veteran. You went to Vegas, right? When was the last time you did it?
Yeah,
World?
she was
Yep.
Vegas.
Went to Vegas.
And then now France.
Yeah, so I was injured during the race. So,
Oh, yeah, you
Yeah.
have been.
so I just pushed through.
You're a monster.
She got to that sled push, and I was like, "Uh oh."
It's going to be a short day.
No, I didn't think that. I thought it was gonna be a long day because she started so high on the sled, and it wasn't really moving very fast, and
It-
we're like screaming.
We were yelling
Well,
so much.
Get
I
lower.
went to the sled and I went to push it and it didn't move and I moved to the next sled.
She did. like it was gonna be a different weight.
This one's better.
Yeah.
Stuck.
I
It's
got,
stuck.
I got a better feel on the
So,
plane.
but once she got lower, it moved just fine.
Yeah.
But like at first, she got to it and it didn't move. I was like, "Oh crap!" So I didn't know if like your Achilles was bothering you, right? And that's why you weren't pushing as hard.
So that was one of the workouts that I was worried about.
Right. No, I know.
So going into it, I guess I was just in my head. And as soon as I looked over and saw you guys, and you're like, get low. I'm like, oh, yeah. And even my husband was like, why'd you start out so high? Like,
Yeah.
you know, but
What's
you know
funny
it.
is like
Yeah, I just
from
didn't
like
think
if you
about
watch,
it.
so I videoed it, right? So if you watch it from the beginning to the end, like your first like your first push down was so slow.
I was like real gingerly trying
Yeah,
to like
and then the last
feel
push
it out.
was like twice as fast.
Yeah.
Like you got faster as you went through it.
I felt like, yeah, I was worried about my Achilles popping, you
Yeah.
know? So I was, trying to, is my foot in the right spot? Can I handle the weight? And I think once I figured out I could, then I just did it, got it done.
Yeah. So, but I mean, other than that, what else?
She did smile after that too. After
You
she just came off that thing just smiling, beaming.
Well, when she sees people, she's got that innate ability to just smile.
I have
Yes.
pictures
Right.
and videos of you like coming off of things, and you look up and I was like, makes me so
There's
happy.
so many photos and videos of me with like this terrible look on my face. It's both.
No, I do think for this race, I think you have this thing that you'll do, like when you're tired or moments where you're like, your head goes back and your face goes up and your mouth opens. And that usually I know that means you're tired or you're hurting a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen your head go up that much. Like you're like constantly. I was like, and it didn't look like you were really tired, like you were hurting. Like it just looked like you were like, I'm ready for this to be over. I don't know. So, but I thought you did good. I thought you did great. Like you were really consistent on your runs. And like the, what was it? I think it was the lunges. I felt like you like flew through those like pretty quickly.
Were you feeling your Achilles on your lunges?
I felt it pretty much the whole race.
Because the only reason I ask is I have a video and I noticed on the Achilles you were talking about hurting, you were swinging your leg out a little more.
Oh,
so
maybe.
I assumed it was because that pain.
Yeah, I was trying to like keep my foot forward and not kind of like move this way. Yeah, so yeah, I felt it, but I think by the time lunges came, I was pretty confident that if I could push through the pain, then just push it through and get it done.
Yeah. So, and then you had the counter, right, at the wall balls?
Yeah, so when I got to the wall balls, the very first one I did, he said, get lower. I'm like, give me the box. Because I've seen so many videos of people, like, doing rep after rep after rep, and they're going low enough, and then they say no. So for me, since I'm so short, the box is
actually
an
better.
advantage. Yeah, so I was like, I was ready to be done with the race.
And it was all professional. They actually had boxes.
Oh.
They didn't have, like,
Let me
a
tell
bucket.
you about that box.
Yeah.
It had, like, a little bit of a spring in it, too.
So I noticed that when you were going. I was like, I want that box.
Because the
box looks like it's
bucket...
giving her a little bounce.
Yeah, the bucket is, like, hard plastic bucket.
Yeah, with little edges on it.
A ridge on it.
Yeah.
It's literally a 5-gallon paint bucket turned upside down.
Right.
And
these were like padded,
it was like a padded
box that say Hyrox on them. Yeah, they were nice.
Yeah, it was very nice.
They pulled out all the stops.
Yeah, and the counter was neat. So it was cool because I had that one missed rep, but every time after that, then it was like I didn't have any missed reps.
Right.
So.
Did you not have the counter back in Houston before? Did you not have it?
No,
so.
No?
not everybody. They only had a few.
Yeah.
They only had like 5 counters there.
Yeah.
So because it was just they were beta testing it and what have you. So, but so what was the feeling when you crossed the finish line?
Yes.
I was glad to be done. That's pretty much it. Like, now let's get the vacation started. you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I would think
The race
too.
is done. Let's get this vacation started. And yeah.
Yeah. I think it was like the next day you told me like we already booked a massage.
Oh yeah.
I booked a massage
It
here
was
in France.
the massage was great. Like, it was only €100 for an hour, and it was an amazing massage.
Yeah.
See,
So
kind of wish I had done that too.
yeah.
Did you go up to the lookout point like we told you?
Yeah. So Castle Hill.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went to Castle
I
Hill.
loved it. It was so pretty.
Went to Ez.
Oh, how was Ez?
Ez was so cool.
Yeah,
so
I
cool.
heard it was really
I'm bummed
pretty.
that you missed that because that was a really cool
rub
place.
it in.
That was
I
my
know.
second favorite. My
Dude,
first.
you shouldn't be bummed about anything. This chick saw more
I know,
than
she
enough.
did.
It's fine.
But
She'll survive.
there's we went to
Did you go to Monaco?
Monaco. I was underwhelmed.
Really?
Yeah, I don't
guess
know.
Compared to Ez, I heard
Yeah,
Ez was really
we
pretty.
did it on the same day, and then we
Okay.
went to Italy. We went to a little town across the
Oh.
border, starts with a V. Not quite sure how to say it, so I'm not going to. We were calling it the Tijuana of Italy because it was literally right across the border, and it was probably not the best town in Italy to go
Okay.
to, but yeah, it was pretty
It was
nice.
just a train ride.
Yeah, train ride.
Yeah. So like what, like maybe an hour on the train?
Yeah, probably about an
Ish,
hour.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's nice.
And then, but my favorite place was St. Marguerite Island, which is off of Cairns or Cons.
Cons.
Yeah.
Come on now.
And if I ever go back, I'm gonna spend the night on that island. It was so
Really?
nice. Yeah,
Oh,
so pretty.
that sounds fun. See?
Yeah, it was. There's a.
Oh.
Am I allowed to
No.
have FOMO? I want FOMO.
You're
I
not.
want FOMO.
No.
You were there.
You went,
I
yeah.
didn't
You
go
went
to
so
these
many
other
cool
places,
places.
though.
She didn't go to any of the places you went to.
No. I didn't.
So many things.
It was nice having one home base because I was the only one who did that. I stayed in one hotel or Airbnb the whole time, and yeah, that was nice. It was less stressful. And,
Yeah. For sure.
We had a few things scheduled on certain days, but for the most part, it was like, what do we feel like doing today? What do we want to do
Did
tomorrow?
Rob have a good time?
Yes.
Good.
He had a good time.
Good.
It was great.
Is he ready to go international again?
I think he would definitely go back to France.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
It's only because you guys didn't go to Italy.
Well, just that one Airbnb boring. You
Yeah.
know, we missed the excitement of are the bathrooms in the living room?
Yes.
Where the lights come on. That's all a very
that's
boring
right.
trip.
Is there
right
going to be
there.
a shower?
Yeah, so you just
wow.
never knew.
Is there
Is there
AC?
gonna be a shower?
Seriously. So,
Did y'all never have a shower?
No, we did.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say.
How was the honeymoon for the newlyweds?
It was fun. We had a good time. So, I mean, the race was great. So,
these two.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, for those of you who don't know, so I qualified, and Tommy, my usual partner, we qualified a couple times, but then Tommy wasn't able to go. So, you know, I was racking my brain thinking, like, who in the world could I get to go? Because I want to go. I'm going, right? I would have ran it by myself in doubles. I don't care, right? I was going. And I was like, you know what? What about Carlos? And I was kind of unsure because I also didn't want to lose my life, right? So
Tall, dark, and handsome.
Huh?
You picked the tall, dark, and handsome one.
I did. So I knew I needed to get somebody that was brown, right? Because we got to keep that tradition,
shade.
right?
Same age group as well.
Same age group,
So I figured
right?
that's
I
two
didn't
out
want
of two,
somebody
2 out of 2.
right? I didn't want somebody like super old, right, dragging me down. So Carlos, I picked him up. I was like, "Hey, man, you want to go run with me?" And he was like, "Yeah, let's do this." So we've been training together for the last couple months, and so I thought we had a pretty good game plan, and went out and executed. I feel like.
I feel the running was on point.
Yeah.
I would
Y'all
feel
looked great on the runs.
Yeah, the
Definitely.
runs. I think we hit
Y'all
all
looked
our
really good.
times.
Yeah.
I kind of just everything that we trained. I would say the only thing that kind of was a little bit harder was the sled pull.
I was
Yeah.
gonna ask y'all, how did y'all feel on the sleds? Because y'all are pulling like 450, 460.
Well, the push is I think 455, 460, something like that. The pull is like 350.
Yeah.
Right. So the push wasn't like a big deal. I didn't think. Like I got to it and it was heavy, but like it moved just fine. Right. In fact,
Yeah.
I think one time because we had a plan of like doing halves.
You did the full thing,
Right.
one
I
time.
just did the full team one time. Right. Because I was like, I want to give him another break because it felt like you were going a little extra because you were going over the hump. So then I felt bad because I was like, well, if we keep doing it this way, he's going to do I'm going to do less of the sled push than him. So I felt bad. So I was like, let me just go ahead and get knocked 2 out. So the sled push wasn't bad. The sled pull was hard. And I think the biggest part is I felt like it was so wet on
from
the
the
carpet
sweat?
and stuff from people.
Yeah.
Like I was slipping, right? He actually fell, I think,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, I
Nope.
have a video
They had
of
a
you
quick
falling,
slip,
yeah.
and then no, it went from as soon as I grabbed that, it was like okay. In the first pull, I was like,
Yeah.
this is heavy.
And one thing I
And-
think I noticed too was like, so you remember before they got the new center equipment, like the ropes all felt like they were stretchy,
Yes.
Yeah, they had
right? They were like have a give in them.
So you had to like pull out the slack before they actually moved them.
Right.
Mhm.
This one I felt like it was stretchy again.
Did you?
I
Yes.
did.
No. Till you got about a quarter in, did you really feel like you started kind of pulling it?
Yeah.
That first
I think
quarter,
about
there
that.
was just kind of,
I don't know if I felt
you know,
that either. Maybe
pulling
it
it.
wasn't as heavy.
Yeah.
So, but then yeah, I was slipping. Like there's a video I think you posted, kind of like little clips and stuff.
Yeah.
And there was one of the sled pull, and I could see my feet slipping.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So like it was definitely slip, and that makes it hard.
Yeah.
When you're trying to use your legs to
Yeah.
pull it when you're not getting grip, right?
Yeah, no traction at
So
all.
then I think that's the first time that's ever happened on a sled pull.
I did get a blister. That's
Did
the
you
first time
really?
on my finger. You can see right there.
Really?
On my finger.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
fingertip. Like it had to be from
grabbing
the
the rope,
rope.
probably.
That's
Yeah.
that kung fu grip,
Mm-hmm.
for sure.
I think after that, it kind of that was a little kick to the stomach, and
Yeah.
I think I felt we recovered pretty good. Hit our pacing, and then just it was kind of all go after that.
Yeah.
Burpees went great. I felt good on the burpees.
We passed several people on the burpees.
Yep.
So I think the game plan was basically just to be very conservative until we got past the rower.
Yeah.
For the most part, right, and then we would try to pick it up. And I feel like once we hit the burpees, that's when we started passing people.
Yeah, no, it went
Right.
good on the burpees. Rowing went good. Felt good on the rowing. I think and then the lunges. Lunges felt great as well.
Yeah, actually, that is the best I've ever felt on lunges. Like I felt like I was moving. I've never moved that fast before.
All that practice you've been doing.
Finally, my
All them
God,
lunges.
All those lunges, all those repetitions.
Finally, right?
Mark, your strong advice paid off.
Do more lunges.
Yeah,
More
2
lunges.
more lunges. But yeah, and then this dude crushed the wall balls, man. It was like,
Yeah, y'all were doing awesome on the wall balls.
Yeah.
And the kettlebell carry too. Those Thursday
Yeah.
workouts of
He-
doing that.
yeah,
that
forcing
really,
this guy to do kettlebell carries nonstop.
Yes, it was.
I was like, I faked an injury so that he'd have to do more
Yes,
kettlebell
it was,
carries, right?
Yes, but it helped out in the end.
It did.
So.
It
Did
did.
you
did.
utilize the forward?
Yep, I used Tommy's method.
technique.
Yep,
He
Tommy's
did like
technique.
75% of the farmers
What
carry.
was the
Yeah.
technique?
Guys, I should have. We didn't implement it. Well, I didn't.
A
do it,
little bit
Laura.
lower, kind of almost like
Kinda like
falling
almost
with
like a
them,
hunching a little
not
bit?
like
not
upright. Tommy
upright.
just kind of hunched a little bit and like run with it. He would
Yeah.
run with it.
He
So
made
just
the weight kind of carry
yep,
you
just kind of
forward.
not using all the way extended, just kind of leaning
I need to
forward.
start practicing that.
Yeah, so no, it helped out a lot practicing that.
Yeah.
I felt really good
Yeah.
doing that.
I noticed some people were holding the kettlebell
At the
handle at the front corner.
Yeah.
oh, at the front.
Kinda letting
It
I
kind of
have
lets
that
it tilt
before.
forward, kind
Yeah.
of deal.
I've done that before. Yeah, I've had to do that sometimes with my wrist issues.
I can't see how that would make any difference.
I think it's just easier on your grip.
Yeah,
That's what
I
it
think
is.
your hand kind of falls into that corner a little
Well,
bit.
maybe I need to
for
work
me,
on that.
That's worked.
So
No, Laura beasted. She like took the entire thing, and that was James. And James like, if you think you can, and she put it down maybe once.
I can,
think.
yeah,
She
for
put
like
down with it for a second,
fraction
and
of a
immediately
second.
went, and
yeah.
she was booking it. I was like, okay, I'm feeling really like I'm not pulling my weight here. She is killing this.
Yeah.
And she was so nervous about the weight the entire time.
I don't know why. I mean,
I know.
I knew she'd be fine.
Why.
So
she's always ready to go.
So, but I think everybody did good. You know, I think we met the expectation, right, that we set. I mean, we hit our goals as far as our times and like finishing and stuff like that. So, it was
hot.
This was the most intense and the best athletes they've had
I
to
was
date.
just going to ask you, like, how did you feel about the men?
Fastest time was 54 minutes.
Yeah, y'all's age
Yeah.
group was
54 minutes.
Yeah.
So
There's
it was
some
like
really
first,
strong
second, and
people
third
out
was like
there.
54, 55, 55. Like the top 5 times were all under 57 minutes, right? So that's pretty friggin' fast, right? I think top 10 or 15 was under an hour. So
Yeah.
I mean, if you're under an hour, you're good. Bottom
even with
line.
those weights.
Yeah, and they were doing that with pro weight too,
Yeah,
right?
I think the
So-
top women's doubles time were like 57 minutes.
Yeah.
They
So
were
I mean,
all so fast.
that's legit, man. I mean, the
in the
sport's
world.
growing so much. That means you're getting better competition. You're getting a deeper pool of athletes, right? So, you know, every year it's going to get harder and harder to qualify. Every year it's going to be harder and harder to try to win. So that means you got to keep getting better and, you know, keep getting stronger and, you know, really leaning into the efficiency of all the movements and stuff. So if there was something you feel like you could work on or that you wish you'd worked on more, let's not say what you wish. What do you think would be the main thing you would think you could improve on the most, or you would want to improve on the most?
So I'll say that when I did get to the wall balls, I was like, no, give me the bucket or the bench box. Looking back, I was kind of disappointed that I gave up so
No,
easily.
You definitely did not.
I
give
think I
up.
should have done actual wall balls, not box assisted wall balls.
Yeah, but I mean, it's kind of with the injury and stuff. It's what you were
Yeah.
practicing, really.
You were
Yeah,
already
I was
going through
practicing
that
that.
entire race with
Right.
an injury.
Yeah.
So I'd say you do what you can do, and you finish strong.
Yeah. Well, that's the one regret in the race I would say I had.
Yeah.
But as far as what could I work on, I mean, everything. I mean, I think there's a potential to get better on everything.
Yeah.
Run a little faster.
Actually, I was very impressed with your sled pull.
Oh, thank
I think that's the best I've ever seen you do.
Hmm.
And it probably has a lot to do with the fact that you did that a lot and you did it seated, so you weren't really using your legs, so your
Yeah.
upper body got stronger.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I thought you did great on that.
Thank you.
So, what about you, Lauren?
Well, I am actually looking forward, and that's one of my brain being what it is. I have been thinking about my training kicking back into gear as soon as like the competition ended. I'm looking forward to actually just consistently training with the heavy pro weight because I'm going to be making my pro debut in the fall.
I like the way you said it.
The day
My
The
pro
debut.
debut. I've got to glorify it, so I feel more excited.
Hear it here
about
first.
Yeah,
That's it.
it's a
Yeah,
running with
that is a
James
running with
first.
James
You heard
exclusive.
it
Running with
first,
James
people.
exclusive
I know,
right
you
now.
heard it here first. Now I've said it. Now I definitely have to do it.
So now everybody sign up for the November race.
Yeah.
Let's
That's
go
right.
watch her.
Yeah, so I'm gonna do the women's pro in Dallas, and I'm looking forward to just training more with the heavyweight. I'm looking forward to, as always, working more on my running, and just trying to get, I think, closer and closer to being a better partner for Laura, in terms of like. She's very, very strong and fast just because she has built such a strong platform, like a strong base of cardio.
Yeah.
And she can run so far, and she can do it at such a great pace. And I want to just keep getting closer and closer to being able to just be a little closer to what she can do. So she doesn't have to slow down, and maybe I feel like as a duo, we're reaching the absolute best potential that we have.
Okay.
So I think that's what I want to work on.
What about you?
Strength. Working on strength.
Yeah.
You know, I felt everything else, you know, running with you, obviously you were faster, so kind of running the paces we had the 2 months up, I gave it my all.
Yeah,
the last
no, you
2
did.
months, like everything kind of our tempo runs, the track runs, that was kind of, I was pushing the needle, just kind of, that maximum kind of, speed. I think, we were probably doing, close to 25 seconds faster than what I usually run. So
Yeah.
that was kind of in 2
But you were
months.
hitting it.
Yeah, no, I was, very, happy with those results. But just kind of, I think overall strength, getting a really good strong strength base here these next couple months. A few things like on the wall balls, like I saw a video, my knee was kind of buckling
Collapsing.
in a little bit, collapsing. So that's a little bit kind of stability strength right there. So I was like, okay, just kind of, want to work on that.
Yeah. Well, I was actually impressed, man. I thought I was really hyped when we finished the wall balls because when we would do our Thursday workout, right? Like that was kind of one of the things we practiced is I would usually start when you would start, right? Toward the end, I would start, right? To give you a little break, but then you were practicing coming off and starting the wall balls, right?
Yeah.
And just seeing you from week to week, you went from 5 reps to 10 reps to 15 reps, right? And you were pushing yourself a little more each week.
Yeah.
And seeing that improvement. And then when we got in there, you just every time I told you to go, you weren't no, I can't do it.
Sacre bleu.
Sacre bleu, right? That
Never
was
use it.
That
Never
was our
use
code
it.
word was sacre bleu, but we never had to use it. So he just I remember, I don't know how many wall balls I had done, but I think we only had maybe 10 left or something.
I think we had 20.
15 or 10, something
Yeah,
like that. And I was like, all right, take it home. Right. Yeah. And as soon as I said that, I was like, why? I can keep going. But I don't know if it was the coach in me or what. Yeah. I was just take it home, and I just dropped the ball and moved out of the way. Yeah. And you looked concerned when I said it. You looked a little stressed out.
Yeah.
And then I don't remember. I felt like you said something, and I was like, just go. You were like, I'm gonna do 10 or something. And I was like, no, we're too close. Just go.
Yeah, you just had me do the last.
Yeah, and so you just did the last of them, right?
Yeah.
And you just burned through them, no problem, right? And then as soon as we were done, I was like, I don't know, I was just hyped, man, because I was like, this guy crushed it. He pushed through. So.
Well, I heard the people next to us, they were behind. We were at 80 something. They were at 80.
Yeah, because they got in before us.
I was like, oh, gotta just keep going. There was no stopping. And it's funny the race pictures when we crossed the finish line. I don't remember hugging you.
Yeah.
I embraced him.
me.
I mean, a loving embrace.
Yeah.
Rocky and Apollo on the beach.
Say what?
Rocky and Apollo on
Yes,
the beach.
Yeah,
pretty much.
exactly. Yeah, it's so funny because the photo is he's embracing me, and his face is like.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's he's trying to keep his soul and keep it from leaving.
Yeah. The one where we just crossed the finish line, James just happy. I'm like. A grimace on my face, just I made it across.
I was excited, man. I was like, we hit the time right. I wanted us to be I felt for me, I felt anything between 105 and 110 was great, for us, right? Especially it was the pro weights. We've never raced together before, right?
Yeah.
Based kind of also what you've done in the past, at your paces and stuff. So I was like if we can do 105 to 110, I'd be happy with that, right?
Yeah.
Ultimately, I was like, if we could do 102, I felt if we could really push, we could hit 102. If we could really push the paces, right? But I was like anything around that time period, I think would be a great finish. And we were there, right? We hit right at 106, right? So I was like, we did it.
I think, one thing I'm proud of is, all our practice, all our transitions.
Yeah.
On the, lunges, those are
very smooth.
Very smooth. I think I went a little bit more than 10 or where we were going to swap off, and it just I was I felt good and kept going, but very quickly just gave you the signal and you jumped right on it, right to right. Both of us go right. So we never kind of collided doing that.
Yeah,
so.
no, it was good. I thought everything was smooth. So I was very happy with the overall performance and how we did. And, people were messaging me and they were like, oh, what place you get? Did you win? Did you do this?
Yeah.
And y'all know me. I mean, I don't necessarily that's not always my first concern, right? It's I'm more about did we improve? Did we perform at our best, right? Obviously, I like to win. I mean, let's not get it twisted, right? I like banners and trophies and money, but usually my thing is, did we give our best, right? Did we get the most out of what we put into it? And I felt like we performed up to actually exceeding a bit what we prepared for, right? And so that's why I was ecstatic because I was like, we did it.
No, 100%. We left it all out there.
Yeah.
It wasn't okay, if I could have done this. No, I, used everything from the fueling during the race. I felt good, before race, getting there 2 days before the race. I couldn't have asked for a better, sleeping in that schedule, so there's no excuses jet lag,
Yeah, the way we did it, getting there the day before, having the whole day to rest, that was it was perfect, man.
Yeah, no, it was perfect. So there's no excuses, any of that. You gave it our all, and tip your hats to all the other competitors.
Yeah, there were some amazing. People were pushing themselves so hard at this event. I cannot tell you how many people I saw broken.
Yeah.
On the side. I saw several people laying on the side. like taking breaks.
It was hot in there too,
and it was a little warm, right?
They had the doors open.
They had doors open, so you can only get like a cool breeze, like when you ran around the backside.
But it was that sewage smell too,
and you had a sewage smell coming, right?
So
it was back breeze, on the back.
Yes.
I didn't have that.
Yeah. So, but yeah, they carted people off the course.
Yeah.
Like medical teams came out and were carting people off.
It was it was like, I mean, it was a tough competition.
Yeah, I saw one guy. Like I saw a video and like his partner was like holding him up as they crossed the finish line. They were walking across the finish line, right? So I mean, there was definite carnage. That race took some people out, right? So there were some great performances, but I mean, it's the World Championships, so you put it all out there, right? But it was definitely not easy, and so I felt everybody did a really good job.
Also, big props to our wives, filming, cheering.
Yeah.
They were around random corners.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Turn a corner, there would be.
Yeah, I was thinking to myself as we were racing and running, because like I felt like we had more people there cheering us on than we actually had, because we'd be over here and then there was somebody we know. Yep. Jamie would be there, and then we come around the corner and there was Lauren, right? And then we come over here and we see our wives and stuff. So it was like, I was like, is this what people feel like when I'm at a race and I'm cheering them on?
I would say thank you so much for coming and watching me and Laura run. You and Leah, really sweet of y'all to come and support me and Laura during our race.
Yes.
So they raced in the morning. Right. And so one of the mistakes that I made last year that I was very specific about was that we went and cheered you guys on. Yeah. Right. And so we were there in that building for like 12 hours.
Yeah, we're there a long time.
Right. Because we raced at like 5 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
So I was very specific. I wasn't going to make that mistake again. Right.
And he said the night before, he's like, just let you know, I love y'all, but I will not be there.
I'm not going to be there. But I sent my wife. And we sent Jamie was there. So y'all had a contingent.
My wife overslept.
Yeah, she didn't go.
I was texting Gabby. I was like, are you coming?
Yeah. So, yeah, I was not there. So, but, I'm there all the other times.
Well, Lauren, you were the only one that was there for me and them.
I know.
I was there for you. What the heck are you talking about? I was there from the beginning.
For me, but you weren't there for Lauren.
Okay.
So she's saying that I showed up for
Lauren's a team
No,
player.
but you showed up for everybody too.
I did. And my dad and husband too?
Yeah.
So
They
basically,
did?
we're saying we're.
That's real. I wouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fine. I'll remember that.
I will say that the venue had like the second floor.
Yeah.
Thing was
It
cool.
was so cool.
That was
And
nice.
then even like the other platform that you could go up the stage area.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of great viewpoints.
There
Like,
was.
You could
Yeah.
really just.
Yeah, so it was
see-
different in that you didn't get like the close encounter really, like you can a lot of times.
Yeah.
But there were still better. I feel like it was easier to move around and
Yeah.
better vantage points.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So you could
absolutely.
still see where your people were.
And having all those bleachers to sit in, like while y'all were running, like I was like, okay, I can go sit for like a few seconds,
break.
wait for them to come to the station, and then get up. I was
Yeah.
like, this is good. I can sit for a second.
Yeah, following Jamie around was exhausting.
It was hard.
It was
following you
exhausting,
around.
right? So that's another thing I was thinking about as I was watching Jamie compete. I was like, if I do this again tomorrow, I am going to be beat the crud
Well,
up.
I was also out there for kind of a long time.
Well, and it was easier for us because me and Laura went like first thing in the morning.
Yeah, they had like this
We
awesome,
were, like,
perfect
we
start
had
time.
Great, perfect start time at like 8:50 in the morning.
Yeah.
So like we got done. We got to go back and shower, get a nice lunch, and have a celebratory drink
Before we
And
even
then
started.
before they even got out.
Yeah.
that
So
was nice.
so yeah, so it was actually perfect. Us staying in the I slept and like sat in the room, like so I felt good when we
Oh, yeah.
started.
No, I woke up at 3, but then I went right back to bed, slept till 9.
Yeah.
So I felt like great. Had a
Yeah.
little breakfast, took my time. It was perfect.
It was
Yeah.
good. It was very good. So, but but it was like a long trip. It was such a long because like that was just the first 3 days, and then we were like
There's a whole trip after that.
gone.
Yeah.
Right, we were just gone. Right, so
Running and gunning right
running
after
and
that.
gunning. We went to Rome. They went with us too, or they went, and we all kind of met up
We
while
all
we were
met in
there.
Rome.
So we were in Italy. I'm a fan of Italy.
Italy
Really?
is where it's
I'm a
at.
fan of Italy.
I
Like
think Italy might have been.
like the food was better in Paris.
So
Like the
good.
food in Paris was really good, but the food in Italy was good.
I love it.
Amazing.
Italy.
It was really good, right? But like just the vibe and like everything, I really liked
Everybody
Florence.
was very friendly in Italy to me. Like I thought everybody was for the most part, like people were very friendly. They were very warm. Like from my personal experience, when you were trying to like get by, like this is just my personal experience between France and Italy. I felt like in Italy they were much more receptive to me being from America, and in France, if I like tried to like use my French or anything, they were just kind of like, don't even. I was like, okay.
Oh, I didn't feel that way in France.
No, south of France I didn't.
Okay.
In Paris I did.
Unless-
Paris was like the New York of France.
Okay.
Everyone was like kind of on their own mission.
Unless you order a cappuccino at lunchtime, then they're
Carlos,
not.
he did not heed the warning. He did not heed the warning.
Perhaps he did it on purpose because it was something we talked about all week.
So, just,
I
freedom of choice.
Yeah.
I started to, and then the waiter actually gave me a look of disgust, and I was like, never
So
mind,
here's the
never mind,
question
never
actually I
mind.
have. Did you get your cappuccino?
I did.
He got a
Dunzo.
latte.
All he said was breakfast for the gentleman, and I gladly took it. It was delicious.
Yeah, so basically, like, you don't do anything. What the heck?
It's not up yet.
You're
I
an
didn't
idiot.
have it.
Basically, like, anything that is, like, has cream or milk in it after 11 is, like, not really a thing,
It's a
right?
breakfast.
It's they consider milk or to be too heavy for an afternoon type thing, so they just do straight espresso or whatever. So you don't order it because it's like a faux pas type situation, right? But that didn't stop us.
Now, well,
Stopped me.
to preface that, Lauren had sent multiple reels
Yes,
of all the
constantly telling
rules
us.
of Italy,
Yeah,
of
the rules.
etiquette.
Because for some reason she feels like
You gotta blend in.
we want to
Dumb
blend in.
Americans.
Yeah,
You gotta
but
blend in.
I'm pretty sure they know I'm not from there the moment my mouth opens.
Right.
Well, she did get scolded at that same restaurant for ordering dessert
Bam.
only. So
I did.
Yeah.
I did
So
get
who
told
was
to
blending in now?
Yeah.
only Gabby got the okay from the waiter because she ordered lunch. All the rest of us ordered dessert, which was delicious though.
Yeah.
It was a
So here's the funny
delicious
part.
dessert.
Everywhere we went, this dude had to make sure he followed it up with an espresso and gelato.
100%.
Everywhere we went, Gabby had to make sure she followed everything up with pasta. And
Yes.
start it with pasta.
Yes, pasta
and
with
end it with
pasta,
pasta,
yes.
right?
Everything
I'll have
with
pasta for
pasta.
breakfast, lunch, and dinner, right? So it was
When
pretty
in
fun.
Rome.
When in Rome.
Rome.
And we said that a lot.
Oh,
Actually,
absolutely.
I'm pretty sure we said that in Florence.
I'm pretty sure that was like the theme for like a full 4 days, 5 days.
So, but it was awesome. I really enjoyed Italy, and
Italy was awesome.
Rome was so cool. Like all the architecture, and I've been telling people all week like the fascinating points of the Pantheon, like the
Well,
Colosseum and stuff.
I think what was so crazy about Rome for me is like obviously we know it's a city with a lot of history, but you just be walking through a very touristy, busy city, and you'd be going between these buildings, all these shops and cafes, and then literally just in the middle there's the Pantheon, just this very ancient
Right.
building in the middle of the city, and it's like, oh, it's just turn the corner and there it is, and it's just crazy.
It's like that everywhere, yeah.
That they had these ruins literally just in the city, and they were being protected because they had like fences around some of them, and those things have been there, pillars that have been there for so long, hundreds of years. Or
Yeah, no, I loved it. I
It
love
was
that kind of stuff,
crazy.
right? So, and actually, I was very surprised by Florence. So, a friend of mine from church, whatever, Justin, we were talking beforehand, and he was telling me like about the places to go and like whatever he said, and we were planning on actually going from Rome to Venice, and then after talking to him, like he convinced me like Florence was a place to go, and like 100%, like Florence was the jam. Like we were just gonna be a day, and we ended up staying 2 days because it was beautiful. It had we got there, we went to Michelangelo's Square,
Yeah.
right? And it's like this really tall square that like overlooks like the city, and it was
That was a
like
hike.
It was a hike to get up
Yeah,
there,
it
yeah,
was.
for sure. But it was beautiful.
Yeah.
It was breathtaking. And then they had several cathedrals there, and so much art and history. And then we mentioned it before, it was like men's fashion week or whatever. So like all these dudes are walking around dressed to the nines
Dude,
and
this guy
stuff.
sent me a photo. He's like, Lauren, you're in the wrong spot.
Yeah.
And he's like, there's Venice, where it was like Venice, Florence, and what was the other one?
Milan.
Milan.
Yeah.
These 3 guys who are all super well dressed, very well dressed.
Well, we're standing around and we're just talking, what have you. I'm trying to find the photo that I can send it to this dude. But we're standing around and we're just talking,
They're dropping
and
me.
I see these guys coming over. I see these guys like they're doing like photo shoots.
Yeah.
Right.
They were doing a photo
They're
shoot.
eating. Well, they're getting gelato and doing Instagram photo
Okay,
shoots type
got it,
situation,
got it.
right? And so I see them, and I just start thinking to myself, I was like, I'm gonna take a picture of these fools. And I think I mentioned something to y'all, right? And I think y'all thought I was not being serious.
Oh, he went over there.
And I walked right over there, and I just struck up a conversation with them. I was like, "Hey guys, how you doing?" I was like, "Where you got?" I was like, "You speak English?" And like, "Oh yes, of course." And then I was like, "I love your style. I love the way you're dressed. I love the way you guys look." And they were like, "Oh well, thank you." He's like, "Why don't you dress like this?" I was like, "Oh well, my wife won't let me anymore."
How did you refer to them? Like the port of origin? What was it? You said
Port
about
of call.
Port of call. These guys,
I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Where's your port of call?" or whatever. And they were like, "Oh well, I'm from Venezuela. I'm
Yeah.
from like Austria," and I forgot where the other guy was from. So, but I told them, this is what I told them actually. These were the exact words. I said, I was like, well, a friend of mine is going to be here, because I think at that time you said you were going to meet us in Florence, and
The stress
so
this
anyway,
group
I was
called
like,
me.
I was like, so my friend's going to be here, and so I just want to let her know what she has to expect when she gets here. And they kind of laughed at me, whatever. And I was like, so do you mind if I take a photo? And they were like, sure, of course. So I took that pic, and I sent it to her immediately, and I was like, this is what you're missing out on. This is the kind of...
Yeah, he didn't, like, say, here's a picture of our friend. Would you like her number? Or anything of that extent.
Why?
I don't know. So I could at least...
You were in a different country.
You were supposed to be my wingman. You're terrible.
I feel like I gave you all the information you needed.
Terrible wingman.
We told you how Florence was. We even told you there was a coffee shop with cats.
They caused me so much stress on my last, like, night in Rome. So much stress.
We caused you stress, or you caused yourself stress?
Because I was pretty sure of where I was going to go. I had a great time regardless, but I was very certain of me wanting to change plans, but hadn't like fully committed to them. And then they were like making me draw. What was I? You were like making me pick a coin. Or
You
something.
would make a decision. You wanted us to make a decision for you.
She was freaking out.
You were trying to make us to make a decision, and I was like, just stick with what you want to do. You're going to have fun.
She was almost in tears.
She was.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, let's just let chance decide.
So I had sugar packets. Decide my fate.
Yeah.
I still had a great time. I had a great time. I struck out for.
Here's what I love.
I feel like you're trying to like tell yourself you had a great time.
Here's what I love. So we really should have like planned these photos for you.
They're not posted. I haven't put these up yet. They're just here.
Okay, we can do them. Okay, great.
Yeah.
So here's what I love. So I send her a photo of like this man meat buffet, right? She sends us photos of Venice, and it's like you got these dinghies in the water, this old lady riding on a bicycle, and it's like we're at is like young people central. They're out having a great time. There's beautiful people everywhere. She's sending us pictures of like senior citizen central.
I'm sending y'all photos of like people in like their lifestyle.
Yeah, we were sending you pictures of people in their lifestyle. We literally walked by one night and they were having like some kind of like fashion party or something, right? Remember?
Yeah, it was like not Marc Jacobs. It was some designer had his like little.
And they were outside drinking wine. It was all just literally beautiful people, looking great, all having a great time. And we could have just walked up and joined them if we wanted to, because it was all outside. It wasn't like inside a private thing.
We were definitely underdressed, but
Italians are very good-looking people.
And I don't think they were all Italian though, because there were people in from all over the world.
That's true.
So, because like Ferragamo, Gucci, like all the like big name brands were there. So
I went to Venice, and I spent 2 days in Venice, and I actually did have a great time. I was worried about the amount of tourism, and I was right about that. Somebody had told me that Venice is definitely a very big tourist trap during the peak season, and it is. There were so many tourists that it did kind of damper how unique of a city it is, because it's an island on water, not meant for cars. Everything's by boat. You want to get from one area to the other, you take a water taxi or a water boat. You get hurt and break a limb, you're not taking an ambulance, you're taking a water ambulance. I mean, everything's on water. So that was extremely unique to see, and I'll tell you what, they planned this out. Those water taxi drivers, all hot. All of them hot. I almost took a water taxi for every ride.
Were they sweating?
Just curiously, out of these tourists you're talking about, are you including yourself?
I was one of them.
No, she's not a tourist.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Remember, she fits in. She blends in.
She watched the reels. I'm just making sure.
I don't know if you saw her bags. She fits in.
Okay,
no,
sorry.
I consider myself to be in the tourist, so I understand I'm part of the problem. It was funny because I did speak to a gentleman in a shop, and because this, it's all narrow alleys between it. It's like a maze that like I still couldn't figure out by the end of the day. And I'd gone into a shop and was talking to a gentleman, and I said, what is this like for you, like to have this many tourists around? He said, it's a little of both. When you live here, it's really tough because for 6 months, he said, from April to September, this is what it's like. It is just packed with tourists. Mm-hmm. So it's really tough when you live here and like your life is kind of being all like saturated by these tourists from other places. They're wanting.
I'm sure he likes getting paid though.
And so when he said on the other end, we do rely on them to survive. So we have to rely on them, but it does feel like it kind of takes away from the lives we have here, like the unique lives we have. Mm-hmm. So I understood that, and I was like trying to be very, very sweet. I heard some tourists talk, and I was just like, they were complaining about like food. Someone's like, let's go to Hard Rock Cafe, and I was like, you trash. If you go to the Hard Rock Cafe, no, I will stand by this. If you go to the Hard Rock Cafe while you were in somewhere like Venice, go home.
Why?
Home.
That is like such a hard point to take. If you like what you like.
No. Then don't go out of the country.
So you're not. So if you like a certain kind of food, you're not allowed to go experience other countries.
I know.
That doesn't even make any sense.
There's some people that go get the Hard Rock Venice T-shirt.
Yeah, they love Hard Rock.
They go to every Hard Rock.
Yeah, they go to every Hard Rock
because they like Hard Rock.
Yeah.
What's wrong with liking what you like?
I stand by
So if you like something, you're not allowed to enjoy other things.
You should enjoy other things.
That is
You should
so.
try other
So
things.
what that's. So that was one of the things that stood out to me a lot, I think, is like the more I get to travel, the more places I get to go, the more I realize, like, even though there's like certain cultural, idiosyncrasies and little things, it's pretty much the same everywhere. It's just people needing community, getting together, trying to enjoy life. They're making it through. They've got challenges, whatever.
For sure.
But
Smaller cars.
smaller cars if you're in Europe, right?
Tiny cars.
But for the most part, it's just places full of people, and they do the same things we do, right? They survive. They work. They survive. They love. They get together, right? But when you are in these places, right, like the whole like not ordering a cappuccino after 11, or like one of the things that stood out to me was like the service, right? The service was actually, I thought it was pretty good. Like as far as they brought you, your food came out really quickly once you ordered it, but then once you ordered it, you never saw your thing.
They believe in giving you plenty of time to enjoy.
Right,
the meal.
but then you also don't know if you ask for the check, do you go pay the check at the thing, because it's different at different places,
Yeah.
right? It's never the same, right? They don't believe in ice
Ice.
or water.
That drove this guy so crazy.
Like,
No ice?
Like, I don't know how many times I asked for ice, and they're like, oh, yeah, I'll bring it to you. And then they never brought me the ice.
Or a shot glass of 1 ice cube.
Yeah, there would be like 2 ice cubes in a glass, right? And then, you ask for water, and then they would bring you like a little shot glass of water, and then that's all they expected you to want to drink, right? So, there's little things like that, but like the thing is like, okay, so I guess and this is in generality, it's like the hypocrisy of everything everywhere is like everybody wants you to be like them, and they want you to change to be like them, right? But then on the flip side, if like let's say they came here, they would expect us, right? We would want them to be like us, right? So it's like wherever you go, like the hypocrisy is like, I'm not changing, you change, right?
Yeah.
Or I'm not going to do it the way you like it because I like it this way, right? And so like the whole like getting together and like saying, okay, I understand you like it, I'll accept that and I'll let you do your thing, right? So like to hear you say something like Hyrox is or not Hyrox, Hard Rock Cafe, you're trash. That's like so against like your normal thing you say about things.
You're right. It is.
And I think that's like to me that's very frustrating to hear that kind of language.
Hard Rock Cafe in general. Sorry, Hard Rock Cafe. I'm not a fan of you, but I will say this: I do get what you're saying. I think for me, it's about like when you travel, like there's something very special about. You don't like not. I know I've talked about blending in, but like stepping into the shoes of like people from other cultures and other lifestyles, and like really.
But that's your thing.
Having a better, sure. And
why is it okay?
But
that's what I'm saying is like that's your one thing, and that's the thing you think. Why are you going to shove it on everybody else? Why can't you just let them enjoy it the way they want to enjoy it?
I think if you're going to go other places, like if someone comes to Texas and they want like a Texas experience, I'm like, okay, you go get barbecue.
But what if they don't like meat?
On the highway and
what if they don't like meat?
Well,
I mean, most people come to Texas and they ask what the food is. I say it would be barbecue or burgers, but like if they don't like meat, then I would take them to somewhere I would eat.
Which is not a Texas experience, just so you know.
Yeah, I'm not the Texan you go to. I would send them to James.
Just sometimes it takes a life-changing experience to kind of open your view, and I feel that happened to us when we rode scooters through
heck yeah, better believe
Rome
it. And almost died.
Morning traffic, not on the roads,
just him and I,
but through the traffic. Like I was literally holding up a bus.
Huh?
Same one?
No.
Oh, y'all didn't hug it out?
No, we got 2 different ones.
I wish I could have filmed him, but it was too scared because there was a bus next
I turned
to
around
you.
at one point, and there was a bus right behind him, and he was holding the bus up because he couldn't go any faster. And the bus is just like slowly creeping behind him.
I was ringing my bell though,
yeah,
just to let everyone know.
I was using my turn signal.
Yeah, I couldn't figure out that. I was like, oh my god, he's going left.
Scooters are like the Vespas. Like
No, it was like the stand-up electrical scooters you can rent.
Lift kind of.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those are pretty cool.
That's funny.
But it was definitely an experience, and it was scary.
We were right in traffic.
We
it wasn't
were.
like on the sidewalks. We were like,
and it was like it's like sensory overload because like there's so much going on.
Yeah, you're trying to look.
And the way people drive out there, they're just like.
Yeah, it was.
that roundabout was a little scary.
It was. It was. There were some insane moments. So it was. But yeah, I think that's what I actually like about traveling is like to experience things that other people are experiencing to get in their shoes, right?
Yeah,
to see the things. But not everybody's like that, right? So there were definitely things that I like. Perfect example. I like ice.
James, the ice thing to me was cracking me up, and I told Laura about it because she didn't go to lunch with us that one day, so I was telling her about the ice debacle. She also giggled at it. It's just funny because you wanted the ice so bad, and I'm not an ice drinker anyway, so it never bothered me. But like you so badly wanted your.
But
ice.
here's why I'm thinking that, okay? Because number one, it's a little warm, right? They're giving you lukewarm water, right? And so I was gonna put the ice in my container because the great thing about Rome is they've got like
the
water
fountains
fountains everywhere, like
water.
from like
Same
from,
in France.
from like the aqueducts and stuff like that, right? And so as long as you have water, you can fill it up pretty much anywhere you go, right?
And
Well,
it's clean, good water.
so like if I have ice in my thing, well then I'm always have cold water, right? And even I'm walking in the heat, and it actually lasts longer too, right? So you have more water because they give it to you so sparingly. So I was like, it's not really that hard. You've got a thing full of ice over there. They literally had ice chests everywhere, like ice things for drinks, because they're bringing. If you ordered like a fruit drink,
they brought it.
Plenty of ice in it, right? You order alcohol, ice in the alcohol,
Oh, yeah.
right? So I just didn't understand it. So like I don't understand why that was too much for me to ask to get some ice because I like ice.
It was just funny.
So speaking of ice, I had a Ziploc bag, and I gave it to my dad. And I said, for the race, put it in your pocket. After the race, I'm going to want you to give it to me. We're going to fill it up with ice so I can ice my Achilles.
Good luck.
There was no ice at the race.
No.
Like they had their Red Bull coolers. It was an electric cooler.
Yep.
No ice in it.
yeah.
All the water was lukewarm water.
So I don't know
There's
if it's
no ice at the race. Weird.
like they just don't believe in ice, like it's like against like the
It's
Catholic
overrated.
religion or something like that, right?
Like you're ordering a double water.
yeah, exactly. It's like yeah, I'd like to have a water double, make it a double.
He did get to learn how to order a glass of ice, but the waitress seemed so confused when you asked for it.
She was because she's like, why would anybody want?
She's like, so she brought him like a thing of ice, but no water in it, and he was like trying to say a glass of ice water, and so she brought like a small glass of water that was this big, and then a big cup of ice, and he was like.
No, that was fine. I mean, the big cup of ice is what I really wanted. So, but I don't know. It's just little things like that
funny.
is just is funny to me. So those things they humor me. So inside I was always constantly laughing.
I thought it was funny because a couple times, like when Laura and I would either stay with our Airbnb host, like the couple Airbnbs we stayed at together, we always would ask our host, tell us where to go eat. Like we asked for recommendations and we said we want like a more authentic local experience. Don't like send us to the touristy places. We want somewhere that you would maybe go. And they either sent us all to really high touristy places, which one of them was exceptionally good, but the other ones were not Italian or not French, like when we were in Nice, and we realized it's because, they live here, so they're not gonna want to eat like French food all the time,
right.
or like Italian food all the time. They're eating Chinese food or like hamburgers or something. Because when I asked my Airbnb host in Paris, what can I go get a really good dinner? Like he's like, well, what kind of food? I was like, well, I'm in Paris. I'd like a really classic French, I guess, meal. And he said, oh, well, I mean, I don't really eat that because I live here. I was like, that's fair. So he
I don't know.
was like, I can just, take a good pizza place.
Listen to you talk. You sound like such a tourist.
You sound like a tourist.
You sound like such a tourist. I want the authentic French experience. You are such a freaking tourist.
When I go, I'm like, I want to not be where the tourists are because I think that's where people like. Sure, I guess I hear it now. I feel like
that's impossible.
I feel like that's because everything's so catered to tourists that sometimes it's like cheapened a little bit.
I never felt anywhere that I went was cheapened. Like, if it was good, it was good. If it wasn't good, it wasn't good.
We went to one restaurant that was like in an area that our Airbnb host recommended, and it was really not good. It wasn't awful, but it wasn't good.
My bank card said nothing was cheapened. So
Word up.
Nothing was cheapened in that
I don't think we had one
experience.
meal that was under 60 euro.
No.
Not one meal.
Not one at all.
So, and that didn't include, because most of the time we got dessert and coffee somewhere else, right?
Oh, yeah, it was,
Yeah, so it was
100 plus euros everywhere.
easily, right? So it was expensive.
Well,
Actually,
y'all were also feeding families, like yourself plus your spouse.
Yeah,
and
for
your
sure.
Child.
So,
If you haven't already, go and subscribe to our Patreon.
yeah, we need the help.
Had a credit card paid off.
We need the help because brothers broke these days. You know what I'm saying? So I actually saw a thing on our way home, and it was like, what are the most expensive cities to visit? And like the top two places were Paris and Rome.
Nice.
Were they?
Yeah. So it was like they gave a breakdown of like the day, how much you would spend, and I was like, I think it was more than that. So, but.
Kudos to your wife for getting all that math. I mean, she would, Airbnbs and then restaurants. We had some math going on.
We did.
It was all, a lot of Venmo back and forth.
Back and forth. Yeah. So it was good. So I never see that money, I'm sure, because it went to her Venmo, not my Venmo.
I would venture to say that Switzerland was really. I think Switzerland was by far the most expensive place I went.
Yeah, and that's what I heard. I heard Switzerland was very expensive.
It was not cheap.
Yeah,
it was
Switzerland's
like a
very
meal
expensive.
was definitely more expensive. When I got in to Lugano, it was pouring down rain. And I had wandered around and wasn't paying attention at the time. And then before I knew it, like a lot of restaurants. What?
Say that one more time.
I wasn't paying attention
You
to the
were
time.
wandering around and you weren't paying attention to the time?
I don't know. Europe Lauren's different, I guess. So anyway.
Man, none of this, you're talking and none of this sounds like you.
So anyway, I went to look for food. A lot of like the restaurants had kind of shut down. And I was getting soaking wet because I didn't have an umbrella. So I finally was like, okay, I just got to find somewhere to get like just a hot drink. I gave in, and the only thing I could find close by was a McDonald's. I was like, "Guess I'll get a coffee."
Trash.
Wow.
Oh my
I
gosh. Talk about
was.
trash.
Wow.
I felt awful. I was like, God, this is low.
This chick, I don't know.
It was low for me. I'm sorry. I mean,
Such a hypocrite.
What a
I'm hypocrite.
tourist.
I
What a
know,
tourist.
such a tourist.
Wow.
You might as well just get it tattooed on your arm.
Yeah.
Coffee was €9.
Wow.
At
That's
McDonald's?
And it was not good.
All right. Oh, I'm sure it wasn't.
No, I'm sorry. It wasn't coffee. It was a hot chocolate.
I will say,
It was not good.
we went to this place in Florence, and it was a bar, but it was a coffee bar basically. But they had a little gelato, but they actually
that
had
was good.
They had bartenders behind they were baristas, I guess, basically. But oh my gosh, it was like they had fancy dress on, and they're like, okay, we'll have a coffee, right? And they would serve you an espresso. That was the best espresso I've ever had in my life.
Oh, really?
It was so good. But then they also gave you basically a palate cleanser, which was like a what do you call them?
No, it was like a cleanser, kind of like a.
But it was like a
sparkling water.
sparkling water type thing, right? And it was so good. It was so good. That's where he and I went like a couple times every day. We were like, we got to go back to that spot and get that coffee again. And you'd sit at the bar because we wouldn't get it.
We wanted it to go.
We
Remember,
would-
you couldn't sit down.
Right.
It was very
so we
specific.
had to take takeaway,
Oh,
so
yeah.
it wouldn't cost us an extra
Yeah.
$2. So we'd sit there at the bar, sip our whatever. We'd have whatever, a little scone or
Yep.
a little croissant or something, right? Then and then we were about our business. It was like a nice little pick me up.
Yep.
Yeah. So we've made some decisions about how we're making some life changes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did that. I did that once. I was between my hikes. I did find a place that was more authentic, and well, I say authentic. It was like another little cafe spot, but it was on the lake, and I had a glass of wine and a little like nashi thing, and it was a great way to spend the afternoon. I'm like, this is what I should do every day.
Yeah, we've made decisions. 3 to 5.
3 to 5, no work.
We don't make appointments anymore from 3
We
to 5.
want also a espresso machine as big as a small Euro car.
Yeah, so I'm
that's what
getting
we need. So
I'm
that's-
getting an espresso machine
Yep.
for the gym,
Perfect.
right?
I'm not opposed to this.
And
That's
but
fine.
understand that after 11, we won't allow you to use cream or milk,
No.
so because that's breakfast.
And then anyone that wants to join us for a 10:30 dinner, that's good.
Because
The
pretty
norm-
much that's
yeah,
what we're going to be eating
yep,
only.
10:30
right?
at night.
But we'll have
so-
tapas around 6.
Yep.
Right, we'll have
Absolutely.
small plates
And
Y'all have
gelato.
the food
and
just
gelato,
going
Gelato.
down.
and gelato.
Gelato.
So that's the thing we got to figure out is how we're going to get the gelato, like because I don't know if they really just. I mean, HUB had a gelato, but it's not the same.
Was gelato your favorite dessert that you had of all the things you tried? Was that your favorite?
Well, we made tiramisu one night, and
Yeah,
that was
y'all
actually
did.
pretty good.
I was
Needed to be a little bit cooler.
It
like
did, but
a little bit longer.
They
but
said for a day rather than
yeah.
an hour.
So
right?
no, that was good. I mean, the gelato. Leah introduced me to this one delicioso gelato.
the cherry one or whatever.
The cherry,
Yeah.
dark cherry,
Yeah.
croissant, and like a little vanilla.
Ooh.
Ooh, that was life changing.
That's
It kind of got me off the kind of was it stracciato, the like chocolate chip one,
Stracciatella.
stracciatella. So that
Yeah.
kind of opened my world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I made a pact. I was like, I'm going to make sure I try as many. It was a shame because I'm only one. Once Laura left me, I'm only one person with so much stomach room, and there were too many desserts. I literally, by the end of the day, I was going to boulangeries and like bakeries and buying things and just like stuffing them in a little bag and taking them back to my Airbnb at night to like nibble on them in the evening in the darkness of my room.
We did miss you and Laura because when we go out to dinner, if we didn't finish anything,
You just wasted it.
yeah, I was like, man,
Wasted
where
it.
are they when we need them? Because it was definitely a family sharing atmosphere. We were just grabbing from each other's plates. There
Yeah.
was
I
no
think that was the
no
most I've
boundaries.
ever eaten, like
Yep.
in my life, like
Really?
like well, I was like.
I mean, the food was good. The food was
no, I
good,
meant,
definitely.
like,
but
just at a time though, because I'm normally like such a like a little.
Oh, you
bird
don't eat that
eater.
much,
I
yeah.
don't eat that much, but I ate a lot.
yeah, I don't feel like I ate nearly enough, honestly.
No.
Especially for as much walking we were doing, how much we were doing. I felt like I was always hungry. I was always like, can we grab something to eat?
You were on a mission that last night.
I was, bro.
You were getting
I
about
was-
hangry. You
well,
were gonna.
that day we did not. That was the worst day as far as like culinary experiences we had.
Okay.
Like every place we went was not very good. It was okay, but it wasn't great.
Yeah.
And then it was late,
Yeah, no, it was.
and I was hungry, and I was getting very concerned because it's happened before that we weren't going to be able to eat.
No, it was
And
like
then I was
11
thinking,
o'clock.
okay, we're going to go to bed, and we got to get up early to go to the airport. There's no guarantee we're going to be able to get food there, which we couldn't.
No, it was horrible.
It was horrible, right? So I was thinking to myself, I'm not going to be able to eat till I get back to Houston. This isn't going to be good. I was on the edge, bro. I was on the edge.
Yeah.
And we found a place that was good.
It was good.
Thank God.
Yeah.
But I was about to cut somebody. It was, woo! It was, and I wanted to get my Cafe
Didn't have it.
Gourmand or
I was
whatever.
with you. I was disappointed too.
Cafe Gourmand.
And they didn't have it that last night.
We got desserts. They were good.
They were good. The desserts were good.
But, yeah.
But we couldn't get the little, and we got them other places, but.
There's one thing when we got to Nice that Laura had saw it on one menu, and she's like, "There's Cafe Gourmand. Before this trip ends, I have to get a Cafe Gourmand, and I have to eat as much tiramisu as possible." And I set on a mission that girl was going to get what she wanted.
I mean, pretty much every place in Paris had one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Even
got
if it wasn't
multiple.
on the menu, they had one.
Yeah.
I just asked
I
them about
ordered
it
it multiple times.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So.
They were good. They were really good.
But I think all in all, it was a great trip.
Good trip.
Exhausting.
It was a summer fling. You're back. I promise. It's okay.
It was long.
I don't know, guys. I might be going back to Switzerland. I found out there's a program where you can go for 3 months and teach English.
Yeah.
And they pay for your apartment. And I was like, all right, well, y'all might need to find me a replacement for 3 months out of the year.
Yeah. Well.
I did not have that on the Laura Bingo Square.
No.
I had her getting abducted.
I'm pretty sure. I mean, we haven't heard the whole story.
Why does everyone think I'm going to get abducted? Like, I'm not able to get myself through a city.
Well, you didn't message us back for 2 days when we were texting
Really?
you. Yeah.
Yeah.
2 days,
that's
bro.
scary. Why would you do that?
Partially, it was not. I mean, well, I was going to say, partially, it was like,
You were
I
done
was
with
like
them.
just adapting to like getting through my new places, and I wasn't thinking about the urgency of it. And finally, by the second day, I was like, because first I got it from like you and Gabby, and then I got one from you, and then I think I got one from Leah, and I was like, I think they're worried. I probably should respond to one of these.
Tourists don't text. Remember
Yeah,
that? Just
they don't
yes,
text
I
at
just
all,
live
yeah.
my life.
So 2 days of no messages. After which, so before those 2 days of no text messages, she was sending us pictures and telling us all the. I think she was trying to let us know she was having a good time, right? That she made the right choice.
Too busy
is what
for
she
you.
was trying to do, and then like
Ghost.
nothing. And then I'm messaging her, checking on her, nothing back. Messaging her, checking on. All I could think about is this chick. Actually, the last photo I got was she was like. Or video, it was like a boat. Oh, here's my.
I'll see you in 365
Yeah, I'll see you in 365 days,
Bye.
right? And I'm like, this chick got on that boat, right? So she wasn't responding
It was a cute boat.
at all, right? And then all these things are going through my mind of like, there's no telling what happened. Like, she's on a road somewhere and she missed her bus and like she
Her
caught a
phone
ride
died.
with some freaking Italian dude and like.
I mean, could that be the worst thing?
Now they're like driving through the countryside towards Switzerland and like they had a flat and like the car broke down and like now she's having to walk for 50 kilometers to go to the next town to get a tire. Like all these things are going through my head. I'm like, all you had to do was just message somebody like, yeah, we're having fun. It's a good time.
But that story is exactly how every rom-com starts out. And then guess what happens? The heroine, she ends up married in the end.
Yeah, whatever. That's not actually how it works in real life. So,
No,
but then I haven't heard the story, but I can guarantee whatever happened from the moment of. Well, when did we leave to come home? Monday.
Yeah.
Oh.
So whatever happened from like say Sunday or Monday
was so
time
stressed.
to when she actually got home, I can 100%. I don't know what happened. I don't know if anything happened, but I'm pretty 100% sure that there was drama, stress, and unassurity.
check and check.
Like pretty sure because I know who she is, I know what she does and how she rolls. So and there's no telling.
They weren't my
those
fault.
2 days that she didn't message us. I'm assuming there was some in there too. That it wasn't just smooth sailing.
Getting to Venice was actually pretty easy. Getting to Lugano was actually really easy. Getting to Paris from Lugano was nothing short of a full-on nightmare. I lost a full day of my trip being in an airport and dealing with because I did message you when I got to Lugano. Apparently, strikes are very common. Train strikes are very common in Italy, and literally the day I got to Lugano, someone said, "Oh, you got here just in time. They just announced a train strike, and so all the trains are delayed everywhere." And like when they say delayed, they mean delayed. And so I'm like, "Oh, I'm in Lugano, so no problem. I'm in Switzerland." Well, I forgot to consider how long that might last me going back because I had to take a train back to Milan, which is only an hour train ride, and then catch a flight to Paris. My flight. I'm gonna try to tell the story really quick because it was.
That's going to be impossible.
That was
100%.
so awful. I planned it all out to where I would get to the airport almost
You planned it all. That's the first mistake.
I know, I really did. I took some really hardcore notes from Laura being with her for like the first week, and like I was really applying them to my trip. I planned it to where I'd get on a bus and get to the airport I need to be at 2 hours and 45 minutes before my flight. I'm like, plenty of time. After like me and her flying into Rome, we only needed like an hour.
You're adding stuff you don't need to.
Anyway, my train from into Lugano was fine, but my train out of Milan was late, and it was late leaving. So I got to the airport. I got into Bergamo, which was an airport outside of Milan, late. And then I went to go catch the bus. Couldn't find the bus station. I asked the young lady, who was very well dressed. She said, the bus is going to take you forever. I'm getting a taxi anyway. Hop in the taxi with me.
Wow.
No. She was very, very... I did trust this woman.
Oh, my goodness.
Did. She was packed, ready to go to the airport. And she was very well dressed and all
You don't have to keep going.
Anyway.
Yes.
So we waited for a taxi. The taxi canceled on us. And she goes, oh, this happens. Sometimes taxi drivers will...
None of this sounds suspect. Keep going.
My friend's going to pick us up. Don't worry about it.
No. She said this happens. Taxi drivers will cancel on you if they suddenly get a better deal. We had 2 taxi drivers cancel on us. I tried to get one, and it canceled. And then I was like, I got to get on the bus. I'm already running so late to get to the airport. Finally, by the time I did get to the airport, I got on the bus, got to the airport. It did take forever for that bus to get there. I had like an hour and 15 minutes to get checked in. The chaos in this tiny airport was... like nothing I had ever experienced or seen before. There was a line that must have been, if you lengthened it out, an entire football field. And you had to like check your own bag in, get the ticket, then you had to go to the checkout counter. By the time I finally got to the checkout counter, I had 30 minutes to get to the gate. And I was like, going to sprint. I got there. No one goes, well, your bag's late. I go, what do you mean my bag's late? She goes, well, your bag's late. I was like, pretend I'm a stupid tourist and I don't know what that means. What does that mean? She goes, we're no longer willing to accept you on this flight. You'll have to wait till the next one. Because you have to have your bag there by a certain amount of time for them to get it to the plane. And she goes, you should have been here 3 hours earlier.
So you were checking a bag?
I had to check my backpack at that point. Yeah, because those smaller airlines don't let you take it overhead because it's smaller cabins. Mm-hmm. So the next flight was 9 hours later. So I had to sit in this tiny, tiny little airport for 9 hours.
Classic Lauren.
It was, and then, no, story's not over. By the time I got into Paris, it was, what time did I text you at? Like 10:30 p.m.? I had one bus. There's only one bus that late going back into Paris. It was the 11:30 bus. So I had to get there, get my bag out of the conveyor belt, try to make it to the bus. And then when I got to the bus, it didn't drop me off by my hotel. So then I either had to take another bus if I could make it, or I had to just hail an Uber. And by now it was 1 a.m. I had luckily met 2 young guys who...
Oh
luckily.
It's getting worse
Luckily.
by the second.
This is the 25-year-old
We have 2
that
different
asked me
definitions
out.
of luckily.
This is the 2 25-year-olds that like were asking me to go out with them. But I told them what my predicament was. They said, well, as long as you can make it onto this bus, you'll be fine. But I knew the last one, I had like a 5-minute window to make it. And they waited for me to get my bag and made sure I got to the bus station. Like, we want to make sure you get on the bus before we leave. And if for whatever reason you don't make it, or maybe our friend can help take you
Oh,
to
my goodness.
Paris.
I don't get anxiety. I'm getting anxiety listening to this.
That was not what I wanted to do. I was like, no, I'd really like to get on this bus. I did make it to the bus. But by the time I got to where I needed to be, it was almost 2 a.m. And my Airbnb host, who I didn't have connection, I had bad service. I couldn't get a message out to him. He had already gone to bed. And I needed a security key to get into his building that he had upstairs for me because we thought I was going to get there way earlier. And so I literally started buzzing every apartment at that building and waking people up until he finally came down at 2 a.m. I felt so bad.
Tourist.
You didn't feel too bad because you're waking everybody up in the building.
I had nothing. I couldn't do. What else was I going to do?
I guess be a tourist.
And be a very annoying individual. And he let me in. I couldn't have apologized more, but I got in at 2 a.m. and I was... tears were definitely being held back. A lot of tears. Not enough, there was so much stress involved in that whole day.
So we had a moment where we're going to fly out of Pisa to go to Paris, right? So we went to the little airport that was in Pisa, right? And we had a good 4 hours before our plane, something like that, right?
Yeah.
And so I was like, hey, why don't we catch the 15-minute train to go see the Leaning Tower of Pisa, right? So we bought our ticket. We get there, and then like I'm sitting there and I'm looking. I'm like, what the heck? This train should have been here 10 minutes ago. And then I look up and the thing says it's delayed
Yeah.
and it won't be there till like another 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Right. So I was like, so we probably shouldn't do it because if that happens and it gets delayed and we get there, whatever. So because of the delay,
Yeah.
we made the decision not to go.
Yeah.
And then we got to the airport, and because it was a small airport, it was packed, right?
Horrible.
And it took us the entire 2 hours, basically, to get everything checked and get where we needed to be, correct?
Yeah.
Right?
No, it was.
So we made the choice because we understood how the whole
I believe it's called responsibility.
Bam, there it
Being
is.
responsible.
not taking a chance.
Well, what are you getting on to me? I was already in Lugano when I heard
Not
about the
taking the
strikes.
chance. In other words, we planned in the idea that there might be a delay, not trying to like barely make it because we think we have enough time. We planned in. We said, okay, we know we need this amount. That's all I'm saying. You know, we just thought about that it might get delayed.
I left my B&B at 9 a.m.
Yeah, I get it.
Thinking I gave myself a very large window to
Like
work in.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's all.
Well, all
It
this
is-
travel talk.
Jamie's was
Jamie didn't have
It
to worry
was
about any
so
of it.
great. Like,
Yeah.
same Airbnb the whole time.
Yeah.
No stress.
Yeah.
Boring.
She's like, I made the right choice.
Yes.
I'm like, do I want to take a train today and go to the city down the road a little ways? Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
Why not?
No. Jamie's like, I made the right choice.
Yeah.
But we did that last year.
Yeah.
And I liked this better, me, right? But as Carlos found out,
Maybe have
Leah
less
and I
stressful
do things a
stuff.
little differently.
On the go. On the go.
I know we broke Alex,
Oh, 100%. My
I was
son.
gonna ask
and
what
we
Alex was
almost
doing.
broke Gabby. I feel like.
Oh, really?
So a couple times.
Hershey did break.
She did break.
did. Actually, she did
Yes.
break.
Her ankle.
Her
Yes.
ankle.
Yeah, she
Day
sent
one
me a
in
picture.
Paris.
She sent me a picture.
She sprained her ankle day one.
Coming down the. We were like downstairs getting ready to go get something to eat, and I was like, "What is taking them so long?" And then Alex
Did
pops
she
his head out.
fall?
Carlos pops his head out the door and says, "Gabby fell down the stairs." I'm like, "Are you serious? What?" I thought he was kidding.
Nope.
Because these stairs were like 4 flights of like windy stairs. So now I have this image of her slipping on the first step and just all the way down.
Yeah, no, she sprained her ankle bad.
She
Yeah.
did.
But
She said it was hurting pretty bad.
it did not stop her.
She did. She walked around that city.
She sent me
She-
a picture and it was swollen.
Oh, yeah. No, it finally got better when she quit walking 30,000 steps on it.
Yeah, right.
So, nope, we went down the Eiffel Tower.
Mm-hmm.
She was ready for that.
She did the Louvre.
Yep, she walked
walked
around.
through the
oh
whole
yeah,
thing?
she was nearly punching tourists because they were stepping on her foot.
Mm-hmm.
But we survived.
Did y'all take the elevator on the? Oh, you probably took the elevator.
Up, but not
Up, yeah,
down.
up. We
Okay.
did.
I decided I was like, I'm gonna take the stairs. I'm in shape. I'm gonna race
Oh, my
myself.
goodness.
I set a timer. I'm like, we're gonna see how fast we can do these stairs in a dress, mind you, because I had a show afterwards. I
Show some
got to the
stuff
first
that
level.
win.
I got to that first level, and I thought I had made it. I was like, yeah, that wasn't bad. And then I was like, oh, no, this is level 1. You got to go to another level. I was like, I got to do what? And then I looked up, and I was like, I was not feeling great.
I bet
Tourist.
not.
It was an amazing view.
It was an amazing view.
Double
So,
rainbow.
Beautiful view.
We had a double rainbow.
Yeah, y'all had a great view.
It was perfect. It was like we couldn't have asked for a better scene at the end
No.
at the end of the
Yeah.
trip.
That was
I have some amazing
gorgeous.
photos from it. So
Mine
but-
was cloudy.
But I mean, there's so many stories. And actually, I think we need to do a little Patreon because I have a great story that I have got to share. But it's too hot for regular television. You know what I'm saying? It's got to be. Just don't talk.
I can't
It's
wait.
just got to be Running with James After Dark. I'm gonna have to put it
can't
out there.
wait.
So if you are a Patreon, just wait. But if
It's
you're
gonna
not,
be so good.
tough. Too bad. I'll put it that way.
It's you don't want to miss it.
All
I
right,
already know
so,
what it's about.
but guys, thank you for number one. Laura made me feel very uncomfortable after our race when we were on the beach, and she's like, "I want a famous James speech," like
Oh, yeah.
out of nowhere. I was like, "Huh? What? I'm exhausted. I'm tired," and so
That's a good photo.
Oh,
it
cute.
was a great photo.
Oh.
But
Is that the beach? Is that
Yep.
the photo?
That's
Yeah.
the beach.
so you missed it, Jamie. The next night when we were in Rome, when we had dinner, I had another speech.
She did 2 speeches. I have
Another
a video.
cheers,
Oh,
and it
I'll
was
send you a
much
video.
better because I was
A little prepared.
my brain was like a little less fried, right? I was filled with food, so that helped a lot. But it was a great trip. I enjoyed the time we had together. It was a lot of fun.
This is
So
great trip.
thank you guys for letting me be a part of that. It was a lot of fun. Thank you guys for coming on today and kind of sharing a little bit. So that's what BC is about. I believe like it's about building community. It's about doing things together, doing life together. And building one another up, right, and making each other stronger. Because that's what the kingdom of God is supposed to be about. It's about, you guys talked about it, you and Brandy last week, like that we're not meant to do life alone, right? And so I think if we can connect with people and honestly not put another put people above yourself, right? And I feel like you guys do that, and that's what I want from BC. So thank you guys so much for representing USA so
That's
well.
right.
Representing BC Fitness so well.
We got the shirts to prove it.
We do,
Shirts
yeah.
to prove it.
And for making that trip so much fun. So it was a great time.
It was
So,
really good.
You're
so
welcome.
I'm excited for the next year. I'm
Yes.
excited for next year as well. Just keep building on that momentum. And
Championships 2025.
that's it.
That's
So pray to God they're not in Dubai. So
Oh, I do hope they're in Dubai.
no,
That's
no way.
expensive.
Not Vegas.
No.
Please
So-
don't do Vegas.
But anyway, so you guys, anything you guys want to add? Anything throw out?
No, thank you. It was a wonderful trip. Great memories.
Yeah.
There was a lot of, it's a very difficult position to be the captain. Walking
Yeah.
Oh,
around.
you were,
There were
looked
several
up at the
mutinies, by the way.
Several wrong turns. I'm going to admit there was no reward. If you,
And here's what I love: there was zero grace. If you made a mistake, holy
Mutiny.
By
crud!
who? The ladies?
Yes,
The wives?
Yes, we made one huge mistake at a train station.
that was a yes.
and we almost ruined the trip for everybody. We
Yes,
almost ruined,
it's-
and they're on. And here's the best part: while we're trying to buy the tickets, both of them are over our shoulder because we're not pressing buttons fast enough. Pressing the button,
it
pressing
was
the button.
Pressure.
It's
You
so
don't know
much
pressure. Actually, I take that back. The scooter ride wasn't the most pressure.
It wasn't.
Buying tickets
the
with
train
your wife
ticket.
over your shoulder.
Yes.
Yes, that is the most pressure.
Nothing
I
worse.
take that back.
And then when they were the wrong tickets,
Oh no.
oh my gosh.
what? Yeah.
Now I'm
it's-
sad that I didn't get to tag along. That would have been so much fun to watch.
It was like there were so many times where like we were on the edge of like fist fights. like everybody was having a great time, but still there were these moments where
Tension.
the tension was just like right
bend-
there.
We bent but did not break.
Yes.
So we
But this wasn't
held
with each other.
strong
This was strictly with your spouses.
Yes.
all over. It
Yeah.
was just like I said, very, like my son Alex, we really pushed him
To the limit.
To the limit.
I'm proud of Alex. He did a great job.
He actually, eats very selective foods. We even watched him. He where the place by the Arch, the burger place.
the burger place,
Yes,
yeah, where that man, the old dude, forced him.
Yes, forced him. He like literally looked at his burger. He's like, came and cut it in half. He's like, here,
Keep eating it.
Finish the meat.
No dessert for you
Yeah.
until you finish
Did he
this.
really?
Yes.
Yes.
That's great.
He didn't give us our coffee until we ate our dessert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was like, this is how it's going to be. I was like, I'd like to order the Cafe Gourmand.
No.
He's like, no, you don't want that.
Oh.
He's like, I'm going to make a very special dish just for you. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be great. It's going to be
No,
wonderful.
James James told us several times. No, I think I want the. No,
No.
you don't
So
know.
I told him, I was like, listen, I respect, but this better be good. I was like,
Was
you don't know
it?
who you're messing with, bro, because you're messing with yourself because his attitude is the way I roll.
Was it?
Yeah. He was very like specific, but he was also kind of
No, but
funny.
was it good?
Was it good?
It was good. It was okay.
It wasn't better than the Cafe Gourmand.
No.
It
No.
was like a pudding kind. It wasn't bad.
It wasn't.
Had like
and
honey.
it was like a Mediterranean dessert.
Oh,
so,
okay.
so it was good, but
Lebanese. It was a Lebanese dessert.
Okay.
I wanted my little dessert assortment.
I did.
You
wanted,
That's
yes,
what I wanted.
Yes,
That's what I
My
wanted.
little cookie,
Right.
my little tiramisu.
But it was good. It wasn't
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
But he was a funny dude.
No, it was
So I
funny.
respected it.
It
It
was
was
like
fun.
we almost called him like the like the Seinfeld soup Nazi.
Yes.
It was very.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Exactly right. Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Yes.
awesome.
He came and checked our plates to make sure you ate. James
Wow.
finished his plate. He gave James a thumbs up.
He did. He
He-
let
I-
me eat my dessert.
I tried to hide mine under a napkin. He
moved the
moved the
napkin.
napkin. Yes.
No.
Yeah.
He was pulling people off the street too. Like people walk by, he's like, "Here, two for you,
Yeah.
two for
Yeah,
you."
they-
And they're like, "No, we just ate lunch. 2 for you, dessert, cafe." He's like, he's
They
a
had
funny
no
guy.
choice.
They did.
and they would come in.
Yeah. So it was a cool thing. So
Peer pressure.
it was a lot of fun. So thanks guys
Yes.
for
Great
having
trip.
such a great trip. I
Thanks
appreciate
for all
Thank
it.
you.
all the great coaching. I mean,
Yes.
You
No,
helped us.
we couldn't do it
you helped
without
us
you.
get there.
Appreciate
So thank
I
you.
was gonna say, we
Appreciate
wouldn't have
it.
gotten there if it hadn't been for you as a coach.
Yeah.
And the great
Absolutely.
videos.
Appreciate that.
So we're missing Laura. So I
know.
invited Laura to be
Yeah.
on, and you know, she's too good for us.
She's a busy gal.
She's busy. She was telling me that she was off for Juneteenth yesterday, and her friends came in for Juneteenth so they could celebrate the holiday. They're all a bunch of white people. I don't understand it, but I respect that they respect the holiday as well, and that they support us black folks. So thank you, Laura, for being respectful.
And I'd like to say, I want to go ahead, since I will be doing my solo run, I would like to tell Laura I'm very excited to see her run. Probably also a solo in Dallas.
Yep. So
Stop trying to take my partner from me.
Well, shouldn't she make her own announcement?
Huh? I mean, if she's not running with me,
Ooh.
she's not running with anyone else.
That you know
Not in
of.
Dallas, no. I don't think at all. I think it's gonna be somebody else. It's either gonna be Jess or my wife, one of the two.
Oh, with Leah?
Yeah, if I can convince her. She's so funny. She like came up to me today. She's like, I'm gonna let you decide. If you want to do it for fun
Oh, I did hear her.
and not race, then I'll be your partner. But if you want to go fast, you probably should get someone else. I was like, don't try to don't come in here with that jazz.
Well, Dallas might be the run with your spouse,
Yeah.
right?
No, it won't be. It won't be. Tommy and
That's
I
a
are
good
racing
one.
in Dallas. Probably Anaheim, I think. I'm going to do mixed doubles in Anaheim.
There you go.
So, but I'd like my wife to do it with me. And I
Chicago.
think she could be just
I'd
fine.
like
I
your
think
wife to
she'd
do
be
it, too.
fast, and it'd be awesome.
I think
Your
Laura
wife's
and
awesome.
I told Laura I'm excited for us to both go out and train as for solos. That way, when we come back for Houston and for doubles, we're like that much better.
Yeah. It could work that way.
Yeah.
So, well, anyway, we got to go, guys. So, thank you guys for coming.
Don't
Again,
forget
we
about the
appreciate it.
Instagram.
Don't forget, yes, do all the things as far as like follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Running with James, The Backyard Bohemian. He did a horrible job of promoting our stuff because, whatever. He's
He
not
was
on
the rock
social
to take
media.
over.
And I'm going to be honest with you, I'm getting sick and tired of it. So, if you notice, we had to change the scene because we have extra people here. I had actually found 2 chairs just like these and had worked a great deal out. All he had to do was contact the person and pick them up. But apparently it was too hard for
You
him.
didn't give me a number.
So it was too difficult because I don't have Facebook. And apparently I don't know anybody that has Facebook. I'm in freaking another country and I'm trying to figure it
thought
out.
you
So I was
set
like,
it
you know
up,
what?
so I
Don't
just
worry
don't
about
pick
it.
up.
And guess what?
You lost them.
That's right. So anyway, thank you guys for not being as difficult as this Yahoo over here. I love you all. I still love you too.
Man, those new chairs would have been great.
They would have been perfect.
Oh, man,
They would have been
perfect,
perfect for
man.
today.
Yeah.
Because it would have been
Oh,
four
man, that
seats.
new chair, I
Oh
could've-
my gosh, it would have been
man.
so money. I was so aggravated when I was in here setting this up. I was like, oh,
I don't know. I kind of feel like I love these chairs, but I feel like if I'm sitting in one, I feel like I need to be wearing like a nice little dapper suit and like have a book open. They look very like.
And like a little
academic.
smoking pipes with it, kind of
Yeah.
deal. A
The
little-
couch is back.
Win in Rome.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for coming in. We appreciate you. Remember,
If you change your mind,
You can change your life.
hey, they remembered.
It
peace.
hasn't been that long.